Alright, welcome back everybody to another video. So we will just keep making our game. We just got started. This is the fourth episode and we're gonna continue on this replicated animation montages and attack functionality. Just started making. We are making an action game, so it's only fitting that we start setting up the combat system. So what do we want to do here? This is not entirely good because we're only spamming one attack and this is also not optimal. So let's get into it. Right now when we click the left button we pretty much only play a montage. We set up the replicated function in the last video. So first and foremost we need some inputs. Let's copy one of this. Let's copy the jump input. A light attack. Or yeah, let's call it light attack. So we copied the jump input and made a input action light attack. We need to put it here into our input mapping. So here we can see the jump, the move, the look. So let's add one more and we have the light attack. That's gonna be 2. We need the left mouse and I need the right shoulder maybe. Yeah, I think the right shoulder is the Soulsy one, so I will just use the same one. And now we can replace this hard-coded input with if I just search for light attack. There we go. We're actually gonna do like this as well. We're gonna make a new event graph called input graph, where I'm gonna store all my inputs. So we're gonna copy this, delete it, go to the input graph. There we go. Here is where I will store all inputs. So when this is triggered, we're gonna do the attack montage. So it should still work, yes. And gamepad. Because it still works. Figure this maybe not the started is the one we want. There we go. Yeah, exactly. So to make a input combo system, because we want to make 2 attacks, we could do like this. See, where's this one? I don't think I want these animation player animations. Attacks. Yeah, you use your own animations. I'm gonna upload the project once. I'm just gonna record a few videos and I'm gonna upload the project and you will have these attacks if you're a patron. We're gonna start with this one. I think is the right one, and this one I think is the left one. So now it's flip-flop. You can see we're playing 2 animations here. But it's not really a combo system. Also, this should be fixed. So this will probably take 1 or 2 episodes to set up. We will make a new function. No, we will not. We will make a variable called combo counter integer, and instead we will use this combo counter to select what montage to play. So the first one will be this one. Second one will be this one. But this is still always 0. So now it's only gonna play the first one. So whenever we make an attack, we need to increment this one. So now you can see I will play the first one, then the second one. The issue is I'm not going to play anymore because it keeps incrementing. So we need to decide which combo we are at. So if greater than another variable, max combo. Or actually, we don't need this because I'm not going to use that later anyway. For now, we know I have 2 attacks. So if the combo counter is more than 1, actually this happens after the attack. So if this is more than 1, we're gonna set it to 0. So that means as long as I keep attacking, it's gonna go back. So you can see, now we swap animations. And this means we could keep adding attacks here to make our combo longer, and we just increase this number. So if I now add a third animation, let me see if I have another one. Can use this one maybe. And if it's more than 2, because it's not a very good animation, so I'm probably not going to use it, but you can see it's play. Oh, no, I'm going to remove this option. And keep it to 1. So that's a very basic combo system. There's also one other thing with the combo system is that, see, if I now did the first attack, wait a few seconds and then attack again, it's gonna go to the second one instantly. So we kind of want to reset this if we're not making another attack in a while. So we can do a sequence. We first go here to this check, do a retriggerable delay. So if we don't do another attack within 1 second, we're gonna go to 0 again. So we do 1 attack, then wait 1 second, I'm gonna do the same attack. But if I attack twice, if I keep within the combo time, I keep making combo attacks. 1, 2, 1, So there you have a very basic combo system. Yeah, and we'll probably keep adding stuff to it, but for now this is good enough. And this does not have to be replicated or anything. This is just handled client side. We only replicate the actual montage. So yeah, at this point people could cheat here, maybe jump instantly to the last combo thing, but once again, we're not making a huge MMO where all of that is super important. If you play any co-op game, you can cheat like this. It's the same with all games, pretty much. Unless it's like a super competitive one. You can even do stuff like this in Counter-Strike, so. But yeah, ideally, all of this should also be handled on the server. So ideally, this would probably be a replicated variable, and you would have this as a server event instead. And then you would check if it's reasonable. You could do a check like, okay, you can't do combo number 4 because the previous attack was combo number 1, so that's impossible. You would have to do checks like that, but that instantly increases the complication. Like, it's going to be way more complicated to do, and once again, it's not that important for co-op games. And we're not making a massive MMO RPG, and we're not making a super competitive fighting medieval action game. So this is good for now. Because there's one other aspect to it as well. The more stuff you do on the server, that's also putting stress on the server. So the more, in this case, it's the other way around, I would say, because we're doing a co-op game with friends. The more the clients can handle themselves, the better, so that the listen hosts don't have to do all the math and stuff on their computer. So yeah. Cool. We need some other things to this, because this is still very basic, and we don't want people to be able to spam like this, right? So we need a way to avoid that. So for now, we're just gonna put a variable here. I'm actually gonna try to stick to Epic's own naming convention. B can take action. We're only gonna do this if we can take an action. It's gonna be true by default, so that means we can do it. Now it's very easy to do. But the second we do this, we're gonna set can take action to false. Or actually, no, we're not, because we're gonna handle this with something called animation states. So I'll make a new folder here. Will be a blueprint class, anim notify state. Select. So whenever this state is in an animation, you will not, this boolean will be turned. This boolean will be turned off. So if we go to our animations, we have here notifiers. We have a track here. So add notify we're gonna do notify state. State can't take action. So we want to put the state in place of the animation where the player can't take action. So from the start of the swing to the end of the swing. Gonna do the same with this one. From the start of the swing to the end of the swing. And we're gonna open this notify blueprint, and we're gonna override two functions here: notify begin and notify end. And these two fire at the start, so notify begin and notify end. So now we need a way to communicate with our actual player here to turn this on and off. And actually, we're gonna take this B can take action variable. I copied it. We're gonna move it, and we're actually gonna put it in the master character because that's gonna be shared. Because the don't need it. Because this is gonna be used by the NPCs as well. So it's not here anymore, but since it's in the parent, I can now get can take action. Here we go. But we need a way to communicate with our master character, right? So I'm gonna make a blueprint interface. So we could do like this. This is what I've done in my previous tutorials and what most people will likely do here because they want to keep the speed up. We can get the owner of the mesh component. We can cast to master character. And we can set and take action. And this is the end, so it's gonna be true here. And we can take the begin. Let's copy this. Set it to false on the begin. So you can see now I'm trying to spam here now and it doesn't work because we're constantly turning this animation on and off, this boolean on and off when we're doing the actual animation. And we can see that it works on the client as well. But instead we're gonna use a blueprint interface. So we're gonna, because casting, I mean in this, this is a discussion, ongoing discussion, but I kind of don't want there's no reason for this notifier to know about the character that it exists. Because we now go to animation states and check the size map. Actually, it doesn't load it. Save everything. Yeah, there we go. So when I says everything, so this is why we want to use interfaces instead of casting in a lot of the cases. If we go into this one and we check the size map, we see that this animation state now knows about the characters. So this animation state, whenever it's called, will load in 227 megabyte. In this case, it's probably fine. It's not really an issue because whenever we attack, we're always going to be loaded into memory with the character anyway. So casting isn't as bad as people say all the time. I see a lot of people in Reddit like eating it and be very careful about it, so it's not that bad. Because if it's loaded into memory anyway, it doesn't matter. It's not extra loading time in this case, but just for the sake of being clean and future-proofing, we will do a interface for it anyway. So I'm gonna go to my characters, and we're gonna make go to blueprints, blueprint interface, and this will be called BPI character. And interfaces are basically just a way to send information forward, or get information. You can get information with them as well, actually, but basically it's just a way to send information without actually having any hard reference to it. Because the casting is basically a hard reference. So the hard reference loads it into memory, and with this we can send information. So we will always send this information to the owner, but if the owner has this interface, it will actually receive the information as well. So we need to go into our master character, class setting, implemented interface, do search for character, which is the interface we just made. So now we have that interface. We're just gonna make a function. I like to prefix my functions with call when it's interfaces, and I send them. So call set can take action, but most sane people will probably just call it set can take action, but I like to separate the interface calls, so I do call set can take action. It's going to be an input of can take action. So there we go. And now if we go to our state, we can remove the interface call, and from here we can instead call set can take action. So if the owner is able to receive this, it will now do that. And it's able to receive this if it actually has the interface. So false. And true. But we actually have to implement how it receives this interface as well. That's also one plus to interfaces, is that you can use one interface and have different functionality on different receiving actors. So if I wanted to, I could make it so that the player and the NPC does different stuff when they receive this information, for instance. But this is gonna be a shared thing for me, so I will go into the master character, shared functions, and I will do event call set can take action. So this event here is what happens. It's prefixed with event because that's what this is what happens when they receive the call, if they are able to receive the call. So in this case, we're just gonna set this be can take action. And I'll comment this one will have a nice orange to it. Come on, why can't I select it? Here we go. And this will be blue. What happened? Unreal. Here we go. And we will add interface calls here. That's why I made another comment, just to separate the normal functions and the interface calls. And let's see if that still works. Yep, and it still works, and I am spamming the button. and it still works. And if I now save everything and go into my animation states and check here size map, you can see it's only 41 kilobytes now instead. Why does it know about the character though? Ah, yeah, it's the interface. Yeah, it's using the actual interface. So the interface is 9, which is fine. And there we go. So that is a basic combo system. And in the next video, we will probably start setting up the ways we're gonna store character data, using databases likely, or data tables, I mean, because right now this is hard coded and that's kind of not what we want it to be. So we'll do that. So and we are probably gonna make this a little bit nicer as well. Let's do like this. We don't even need this one. I'll take all of this. We're gonna collapse it to a function called light attack. And we're gonna trigger outside of it. We can't have delays inside of functions. And here, we don't need an output for that, that's fine. And there we go, still working and a little bit cleaner. All right, that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments if there's any questions, and I will see you in the next one. See you.